Hello, everyone, and welcome to your U.S. Elementary Teacher Certification Test Prep lesson. In today's lesson, I'm going to teach you how to write a passing response for your Assessment of Professional Knowledge test. And if you're not already here, go to teacherpreps.com and then make sure that you have already enrolled, gotten full access to this test prep. And then once that is the case, just go here and click login. And then you can see all of the exam preparation materials that we have. And what you want to do is click on your exam. For us today, this is the Assessment of Professional Knowledge Primary Education test. So here we have our roadmap, and this walks you through all of the lessons that you need to know in order to pass your exam clearly, simply, and super easily for you. All right, so what we want to do is we want to scroll down this page, make sure that you've already watched our about or introduction video on this test so that you know how many questions that you can expect to get and how much time you can expect to receive on each question. But our focus today is the essay or the constructed response section. So what we want to do next is we want to click this link labeled Essay Workshop. So let's go here, and in this page we teach you exactly how to think about and structure the framework for your response so you can get a passing score on your next try. Okay, so again today this is the Assessment of Professional Knowledge Primary Education Pre-K through 5 exam, and this is our essay workshop. So we've got a little 3-step program here. First, you want to read the essay and then write your response, and it's really neat because we have created and trained an AI essay model on the same rubric in order for you to write a real response and get instant access, instant feedback and a score just like you'll receive on test day from your actual exam administrators. So first things first, what we want to do is we want to understand the scoring scale of this exam. Let's start all the way at the bottom. So if you get a score of B, that means blank, and what that probably means is that you didn't get enough time to write your response on test day. We don't want that, all right? But if you do, that's the score that you'll get. And if you get a U, that means that you wrote something that is off topic, which means if you are asked to write an essay about how you will provide effective instruction, and what you do is you write about the great delicious pizza that you ate the night before or something like that, that is off topic and you'll get a score of U. Again, we don't want to do that. Now moving on up, a score of 1 demonstrates minimal or no comprehension or kind of understanding of the prompt that was given to you. We also don't really want that either. A score of 2 shows that you partially understood what you wrote about, and a score of 3 represents a good grasp of the skills, and that's an acceptable score. But what we're aiming for, what we really want to get, is a score of 4, because remember, the better your essay response is, the less good or the more questions you can miss on your multiple choice section. Now, of course, you want to answer all of those correctly, but the better you get on your essay, the better chance you have to pass. And that's why I'm making this video for you, so you can pass on your next try. Now, a score of 4 indicates that you have total comprehension and understanding of the skills and content of becoming an effective elementary school teacher. So now let's scroll down here and let's understand the directions for the constructed response or essay assignments. Now notice for the Assessment of Professional Knowledge Primary Education exam that you'll be receiving a total of 2 different essay types. So the first one is the work product, and the second is the case study, which this comprises of 3 different parts. Now notice here that your responses need to be approximately 150 to 250 words. So what I wanted to do is I took some sample text right here, and I went to wordcounter.net, and I just put sample text in. You'll notice here that these are not English words, but they do give us 200 words in total. So your responses will be approximately this length, give or take a little bit. And I'm doing this just to remind you, oh yeah, about 200 words is this length, so about 2 paragraphs or so. All right, now let's go back here to the teacherpreps.com test prep page where we teach you exactly how to pass your teacher certification exam. All right, now let's move on. Past the word length, we also have to understand how our testing administrators are going to be scoring our responses. And so first and foremost, we have purpose, and they're going to be checking how well your response fulfills the assignment. So make sure that you answer every question that you are given. And secondly, professional knowledge, and so this is how accurately and effectively your response applies to relevant professional knowledge of being a teacher, such as effective instruction. And then third is rationale and support, and this is to the extent of your response and how it provides sound reasoning. So we always want to back up our response with relevant and supportive information that we have learned in our college classroom before we move on to getting our own classroom where we're actually teaching the students. Now here at teacherpreps.com we have created sample work product assignment, and what's really cool is, again, like I mentioned earlier, is that we have trained a model, an AI essay model that will grade your essay based off this exact rubric in the same one that you'll be graded on test day. So what you can do if you are nervous about your writing section, you can read our prompt and you can say, hey, I'm going to write my own response, and this is the only test prep that will actually give you a real score, just like you'll be given on test day, so you can get totally prepared before you actually take your exam. Now I just want to show you that if I type in, for example, something like I love eating lots of pizza, sorry, not people, pizza every day, and I hit submit, then I'll get a grade of U, because that is not anything to do with the prompt, right? And so let's just go back up here to the prompt and understand what it says. So again, this is 150 to 250 words in length, and what our prompt is asking you to do is to provide opportunities to integrate critical thinking skills into instructional activities throughout the curriculum for students. Explain why integrating critical thinking skills in lesson design enhances students' understanding and learning across the content areas. Number 3, describe one strategy or method that you could use to support critical thinking during instruction that would promote student learning in the content you identified. And then finally, explain why this strategy or method would be effective in promoting students' learning and achievement. Now, no one knows what prompt you're going to get on test day, but based off the official testing agency website, we know that the sample work product will be something like this. So this is a great exercise to prepare for your exam. Now, I'm making this video because I want to share with you the assignment sample that we created. However, if you want to actually receive a score and actually check if you are ready for test day, make sure you're enrolled in teacherpreps.com test prep so that you can actually write your response. Now here, what I want to do is I want to, in real time, provide you with how I would be thinking about writing this response. So I would start with an introduction that states the importance of critical thinking in elementary education, because that's what we are asked or tasked to do right from the start. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to type. I'm going to free type this right in front of you, and I'm going to hope to do my best to get a score of 4. Let's see how this goes. All right, so I'm going to say, let's go here, integrating critical thinking skills into elementary curricula. And if I misspell something, I'll try my best to go back and correct it. But what I want to do is I just want to get my idea into the AI essay grader, because remember, on a test day, you're not being evaluated based off your spelling or your grammar, but instead your understanding and skill set of providing effective instruction for students. So that's what I'm going to be focusing on here, and that's what you should focus on as well. So curricula is pivotal in fostering a deeper understanding and enhancing students' academic performance. Okay, this looks good so far. This essay will outline practical strategies, okay, there we go, to incorporate these skills across various content areas, ensuring students benefit from a well-rounded educational experience. Okay, so looks good so far. Now, I want you to be aware that if you hit enter in order to make a new paragraph, well, that automatically submits your essay, and I don't want to submit this. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut this, so copy it, and then I'm going to just go to a blank page, and I'm just going to go here, and so that way I can tab down. Now, notice here how my introduction really sets the stage for a detailed discussion, and this is what your administrators are going to want to be looking for when you write your essay. So now let's move deeper in discussing specific strategies, as that is what the prompt asked me to do. Now, here we go here. All right, so let's keep going, and I'm going to say incorporating critical thinking. Sorry about that. Notice I just spelled that wrong. Critical thinking within lessons can be achieved through problem-solving activities that are relevant. This is actually not extremely easy to just type in real time, but I'm trying my best here. All right, so relevant to the content area. Okay, what else here? Let's think. Let's give the administrators an example. So for an example, let's say in a science class, students could be tasked with, let's say, designing simple experiments in order to understand, let's say, plant growth. This is common in like 3rd grade, maybe 4th grade too. This hands-on, oops, sorry about that. Say experiments, there we go. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to provide a little bit more insight, show my understanding of effective instruction. Let's say this hands-on approach not only reinforces scientific concepts, but also encourages students to think analytically. Sorry about that. Analytically, I think that's it. There we go. About the factors, let's say, affecting growth. Okay, I feel like I'm on a pretty good roll here. Now, in this section, notice that I've provided a concrete example in order to illustrate the application of critical thinking in real-world classroom scenarios. Now, it's important to connect theory with practice. This is what your test administrator is going to be wanting to see on your exam. So, let's keep going down here. The next part that the prompt has asked me for, let me just reread it here. Describe one strategy or method that you could use to support critical thinking during instruction that would promote student learning in the content you identified. So this all looks good. Now let's go back here and let's say, let's keep it going. Let's say integrating critical thinking helps deepen, there we go, deepen students' understanding by challenging them to, let's say, question and analyze information rather than merely just memorizing facts, right? The administrators do not want to see that. So this is why this is going to be even better for their learning, their understanding, their grasping the knowledge of this. So this engagement stimulates, let's say, cognitive development. Notice here how I'm using buzzwords, and your test administrators will, pick up on, they use cognitive development. This is a good word. So have a list of words that you can use on test day for your essay. Now let's keep going. Cognitive development, and let's say, and supports, okay, for, let's say, long-term academic success. All right, so this sounds nice, and let me just go back to the prompt and let's read the last section that we need to complete. Explain why this strategy or method would be effective in promoting students' learning and achievement. Okay, so this part should be totally fine. Notice here on the 3rd section I've highlighted the benefits of critical thinking, and then I've backed up why and how this will be effective in the classroom. So just to complete this last section, what I'm going to say is, let's start here. To conclude, let's say embedding critical thinking strategies in elementary instruction is not just about enhancing academic skills, but also about preparing students to solve real life problems. I like that. I have a feeling that the test administrators would love this section. But I'm not finished yet. I want to add, let's say, one more sentence. By fostering a classroom, let's say, environment that, oops, sorry about that. Environment, let's say that encourages inquiry and problem solving, comma, educators can significantly contribute to the holistic development of their students. All right, now this looks pretty solid to me. What I would do is I would reread through this, but it looks okay. So I'm just going to copy this whole thing. So in case you didn't see, just go copy like that. And I'm going to navigate back over here, and I'm just going to just paste my response straight in here. And hopefully I get a score of 4 or at least 3. Those are like the acceptable parts. So I'm going to hit the submit button. Ooh, okay, so I thought I would get a little bit better, but honestly, 3 is really solid. Now, this is actually why I like the AI essay grader so much, is because it is not easy to get a 4. We really trained the model being like a kind of a strict grader, because if you've ever taken these teacher certification exams before, you know that they do not grade lightly, and neither does our AI essay grader. And so what I would do is I would take this grade, which is satisfactory. Actually, it's pretty good. A 3 is good. And then I would read the feedback that it gives me. So the essay effectively addresses the importance of integrating critical thinking. Second paragraph demonstrates a practical, strategy. And the conclusion talks about critical thinking beyond academics. So that's all good. Now, this is the part that I need to really learn from. Now, the AI essay grader tells me how I can improve my essay for the next time. So consider providing more specific examples. Actually, I agree with that. What I gave was kind of fluffy. I just said in a science class I could have been more specific, like in a 3rd grade science class in the 2nd semester where students study the plant growth within the water cycle or something like that. And actually, now that it says that, I agree with it. While the essay mentions benefits of critical thinking, more explicit connections to academic performance. Okay, actually, I agree with that too. What I should have done, or what I should have included in my response, was something about, as a teacher, I would provide some type of assessment, whether that's a pre-assessment, a progress monitoring assessment, so that's during the lesson, or a summative assessment for after the chapter, after the lesson, to check the student's understanding. I actually totally agree with that too. So now what we want to do is we just want to read all of the feedback, and then what I would personally do is I would go back, I would rewrite my essay response, and then I'd see if I can get a 4. And so that's what's so great about this AI essay grader, is that you can see, like, you don't have to pay the money for the test and then go in and kind of wing it and be like, whoa, I got a 3. You can use this AI essay grader as many times as you want until you get a 4, a 4, a 4. And you're like, all right, I am totally ready for this test. So, hey, I hope you appreciated this video. This is part 1. Next video, I'm going to do the case study and teach you how to write that one as well. Let me know if you have any questions. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next teacher test preparation video, brought to you by teacherpreps.com.